A stranger's knock on my door gave me the life I didn't know I deserved. I was washing dishes in my tiny apartment when I heard it. 3 soft knocks, hesitant, like the person on the other side wasn't sure they should be there. It was a Saturday morning, the kind where the sunlight looks gentle but feels heavy, and I was already in one of those moods where everything felt like too much. I opened the door expecting a neighbor, maybe a delivery. Instead, I found a little girl I had never seen before. She couldn't have been more than 7. Brown curls, oversized backpack, eyes too wise for her age. She looked up at me and said very calmly, "I think I'm lost." My heart lurched. Our building was old and confusing, with identical doors and bad lighting, but kids didn't just wander into the wrong apartments. I knelt down and asked her where she lived. She pointed upstairs but couldn't remember the apartment number. Something in her voice, the slight tremor, the forced bravery, told me it wasn't just forgetfulness. "Do you want to come inside while we figure it out?" I asked. She hesitated, then nodded. The moment she stepped in, she sat on the carpet like she was finally somewhere safe. I gave her a glass of water and she held it with both hands like it might slip away. Her name was Emily. She told me she lived with her mom. She told me she didn't like being home alone. And then in the quietest voice, she said, "Sometimes mom sleeps too long." Something inside me cracked. Before calling anyone, I walked her upstairs to look for her mother. The hallway felt colder the higher we climbed. When we reached the 3rd floor, Emily pointed to a faded green door. I knocked. No answer. I knocked again, louder. Still nothing. "Is she okay?" Emily whispered. I didn't know, and that terrified me. I called the building manager, who had a spare key. When he unlocked the door, a wave of stale air crawled out. The apartment was dim, curtains drawn, bottles on the counter. Her mother was on the couch, breathing, thank God, but completely unresponsive. Emily didn't move. She just stared, small shoulders trembling. Something happened in that moment. Not dramatic, not heroic. Just clarity. I took Emily's hand and said, "Let's wait outside, okay?" She nodded and squeezed my fingers like they were the only solid thing in her world. Paramedics came, neighbors appeared, questions flew around like startled birds. But Emily stayed beside me, silent, gripping my sleeve every time someone unfamiliar approached. When they finally took her mother to the hospital, a social worker arrived. Emily looked at her with wary eyes, then at me. She whispered, "Can I stay with you until my mom wakes up?" I wasn't family. I wasn't prepared. I barely had my own life together, but I heard myself say, "Of course." That night, she slept on my couch, clutching one of my old stuffed animals. I stayed awake longer than I meant to, watching her breathe, wondering how someone so small could carry so much fear. Over the next days, which turned into weeks, Emily became a quiet, steady presence in my home. We made waffles in the mornings. She helped me water the dying plants I kept forgetting about. She drew pictures and taped them on my fridge without asking. She laughed at my terrible attempt at braiding her hair. Somewhere along the way, the apartment stopped feeling too small, and I stopped feeling too alone. Her mother recovered slowly. She entered treatment. She asked to meet me, tears in her eyes before she even spoke. She thanked me for keeping her daughter safe, for caring when she couldn't. I didn't know what to say. I wasn't looking for gratitude. I just couldn't have done anything else. The day Emily went home, she hugged me with both arms, the kind of hug that anchors itself in your chest. "You made me feel safe," she said. "Can I visit you?" I told her she could. Anytime. Weeks later, I found something tucked under my doormat, a folded piece of paper with a shaky drawing of the two of us. Underneath it, in crooked letters, "Thank you for opening the door." I still think about how close I was to not answering those knocks, how easily life could have kept shrinking around me. But instead, a small girl with brave eyes stepped into my doorway and unknowingly handed me a purpose I didn't know I was missing. Some people come into your life quietly, some arrive scared and small, some don't stay forever, but they leave you better than they found you. Emily did that for me, and I hope, deeply quietly, that I did that for her too.